This is one of the heaviest songs ever made, built on some of the simplest possible ideas, and that's exactly how it changed modern metal. Suicide Silence Unanswered off of their album The Cleansing, which is a goated 2000s traditional old school deathcore / MySpace era deathcore album. It's crazy to look back on this now because this came out in 2008. It's almost 20 years. Time goes fast. That's scary. And you hear the influence of that raw aggression and pure brutality all the way to bands nowadays such as like Psycho Frame, Reverent. I mean, you hear it in just big deathcore bands like Signs of the Swarm, even Lorna Shore here and there. I remember discovering this song for the first time on YouTube, funny enough, back in the day, and it was so cool to see something so extreme, so popular back in the day. Unfortunately, you know, not soon after, that was when Mitch passed away, the lead vocalist of the band. Before Mitch's passing, they literally did an entire memorial show where they had a bunch of just insane vocalists come up and play versions of Suicide Silence song. And of course, one of the most notable performances is Phil Bozeman's version of Unanswered. As soon as you hit play on this song, you can instantly understand why, because you know, I got a blast going non-stop aggression, just fucking 210. Most fucking caveman riff you can absolutely think of that just keeps blasting off non-stop into Mitch's incredible vocals. Blast, caveman riff, and insane Mitch Lucker vocals, you know what I mean? And we have a little bit of a fun switch up riff, which actually becomes the main kind of theme of the song. Right, it's just like a very simple melody, but it is a melody and it's super catchy. That sounds like a spooky horror movie, which is fun. I don't think that was the intent. And I was curious where Chris actually came up with this riff, and I watched this podcast, and his description is just awesome of this.
Where do riffs come from? I look back at that one moment in particular. I look back at that moment in my life the most. Like, how did that happen? And even when you write it, it's like, how do we do that? I do not know.
Dude, like, I love that. Just figure it out. Again, simple ideas turning into these big masterclasses of just aggression, primalness, which, as we've been seeing in this series, checking out like Sepultura's Roots, Bloody Roots, as well as like self-titled Slipknot songs and all that. These are songs and these energies that come from these songs are songs that stick with people even after all of these years. That primal, that aggression, that groove to it, man. You know, you're just like, okay, we have a second to breathe. Crazy drum fill. What's gonna come next? Imagine being like a younger kid and this is your first exposure to Suicide Silence, and you're like, okay, well, I just got pounded nonstop, whether you're seeing them live or maybe discovering them on YouTube. And then I love that little, like, has that little death metal twist, you know? And we finally get to the chorus. Yes, there is a chorus in the song if you want to believe it or not. Vocally, rhythmically, melodically, this is basically a pop song when you think about it. Dude, just those screams, man. Get that energy, and anytime you see any kind of video of them playing this live, especially back in the day, like, everyone is screaming that is a line, that is a call to arms, that is a call out, dude, as a chorus, and it's so fucking hard. Then we get back into just that crazy motif. We actually switched things up. So again, we've had a chorus, we've had a lot of the same motif, a lot of the same riff, insane drumming. We're only 50 seconds in, and finally we get a little bit of a switch up here. Dun 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 tremolo. Like, I love it. It's the simplicity. Again, Garza, I think, described it best when he actually spoke about the riff. So geniusly placed, almost unintentionally, and it does so much work with just being a simple variation of all the riff. And then we get to, it's why it's so weird calling this like a somewhat of a breakdown, because the whole song is just nonstop destroying your face and senses and auditorial existence, where you get to a pseudo breakdown with the panning, very classic trick back in the 2000s, especially in late 2000s. But it's still the same thing. It's just one of them is doing the tremolo and the other one's just doing a dun dun dun. Dude, and Mitch, I don't know how his lows are so specific. I don't know if he does like the weird. And then we're back, dude. We're back in that intro bit, dude. Just that energy, dude. And oh man, what comes next? Let's go blast off. So fucking cheeky, dude. I love the drums. Homie's gotta get more respect for the drums on this track, because the drums are kind of the thing that actually paces everything in this song, because the riffs are so similar, and even Mitch's vocals very well rhythmically placed, absolutely brutal. The drums are really the thing that kind of like signifies like, hey, this is a different part. And then we got that evil dude, the 100. I think so. I might be wrong. Garza gotta correct me on that shit. I have no idea, but just the stank. Dude, and then the layered vocals again, those high highs as well as those low lows, those piercing. And then you layer with that low. So much has happened in such little time. We're at 2 minutes. We've had breakdowns, had repeats of the chorus, had re-intros, we've had breaking segments with drums dynamically kind of controlling everything. We're right here at the end, and it's such a good finish off, man. We just go back to... It's just the intro again. And what's cool, I mean, when you put the song actually in loop. It's such a satisfying loop. And that's something that I don't think this band consciously tried to do. I don't think they were like, dude, that's a banger. Let's make sure it loops perfect. But there's something with the energy of this track where you ending that aggressively and then basically like being like snare restart, that just works, man. It's such an easy repeat listen, and it's 2.5 minutes. Like, it's not a complex song. There's a lot of simplicity to it, but it's so masterfully done. These guys were able to do something so special for their time. But yeah, this is definitely just such a legendary look back track on kind of all the aspects. It's influenced modern riffing, no matter the 210, which is so funny because, every time I hear Garza talk, he always talks about Korn and seeing that such a big influence. I mean, down to it being a 7-string and that being such a big influence on Garza and his riff playing, and then hearing Mitch and the brutality of his vocals, the energy, the stage presence, the live show really has a lot to do with how, this band just encapsulated everyone's attention, especially during that era. Drumming being as intense as it is, man, it's just a perfect package of intensity, of brutality, of aggression that I think not many bands before them were able to capture, and at least capture and bring to such a popularity for their time. And that's something that you got to give mad credit to Suicide Silence, especially Unanswered, to see the longevity and see bands nowadays, again, new bands, be like, yo, dude, let's bring back 2000s traditional deathcore. Let's bring back the trash can sounding snare. Like, that's a style now. Not like this was the first deathcore song ever. However, this is probably one of the most popular ones and ones that have influenced the scene the most, in my opinion. And I wanted to definitely go over this one, talk about it, and just celebrate it, because, man, this is such a special track. Whether it was the conception of it when it was made, whether it being on the album The Cleansing, this song I think has had so much influence on the modern metal scene where it's kind of crazy. Not many songs, especially this brutal and this simple, have that lasting power and you gotta give it credit for that. But you let me know, did Unanswered change the game? Is simple and brutal and heavy the way to go, or is it just a pop song? You let me know down below, and let me know what other songs you guys want to see me check out. Do you think this song changed modern metal? You think other songs changed modern metal? There's a lot of songs I want to go over in this series, and it's been a lot of fun to do. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, stick around and enjoy the nostalgia journey with me.